There are no penalties, nothing is offside, and everything is fair game. This is The Gloves Are Off.
Hello and welcome to the set of The Gloves Are Off. We've been talking already long before the cameras started rolling, but I do have to introduce everyone to you. So joining me as always is my co-host Brian Kern. Brian, welcome back.
Oh, it's good to be back. You know, I was ripped this morning, though. I got to tell you this.
Ripped?
Yeah, I was ripped in an email this morning about this Guess Who I Am by my host today.
Oh,
that
you're
she's
our
not
Who Am I
giving
game.
Who am I giving me hints, Strecker. She won't give me hints because I cheat. Now, the complicated part about that is I've got 1 out of 15 right. So how much am I cheating?
Maybe this will be your
Good to be back.
Brian. Okay. Well, your challenger today in Who Am I and for the rest of the show is none other than Aaron Streck. Aaron, our anchor and our sports reporter here, welcome to the set. Happy to have you.
Thanks for having me. I have to say, though, it's about time.
It's about time. Oh, throwing the smack down early.
I think we're going to get into an interesting subject today that's not on your sheet, though.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's called How Carly Plays with Sportsmanship in Her Soccer on Thursday nights.
All right, moving right along in the show on The Gloves Are Off. First up, let's talk a little football. Never mind me and my penalty box appearances or not appearances. First up, we got to talk about Jay Cutler. You know, now he's got a sprained MCL. But the big question here is, should he or shouldn't he have stayed in the game? He's come under some heavy criticism lately from players and coaches all across the league, still playing and some that aren't still playing. So what do we think? Is it a joke or should he have, stuck it out?
Well, I watched the game and you can see that, he tried to go. He was on the bike trying to warm back up.
Being sympathetic off the top.
Well, really, I've had an injury and it sucks. But, you try to go back out there. But when you can't and you see him, he was warming up, took him 2 minutes, and then he was off the bike, and you could just see he just couldn't go.
He couldn't go.
Well, we talked earlier about it, but, I guess now that I really think about it, it comes down to one significant thing. Do you want to shoot up?
As in, should they have just given him some painkillers, maybe some
cortisone? Do you want to shoot up and take the risk that you'll get through the game and you won't get hurt, or you'll get damaged and you won't know until after so significantly that you could be out for 6 to 8 months? And I think really, if I break it down, I think that's what it comes up to. But in today's era, these players, no matter whether they'll admit it or not, they are shooting up.
Yeah.
They are taking games. This is the game before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But would it have been one game had he had damaged it even more? Yeah, but you know what? I think it's a decision he had to make.
Well, so you say a decision he had to make. What was interesting was there was a press conference held yesterday, and Coach Smith came out and said, wait a minute, you guys are all criticizing Jay. I'm the one who said you're not going back in. And the medical staff made that decision. So they almost took that decision-making ability away from him and said, you can't go. So do you think they were worried that he wouldn't be able to?
Well, he wasn't really playing that well in the first place.
Yeah.
He wasn't looking good, and even a couple weeks beforehand, they played Green Bay, and he couldn't even get anything going.
The thing about it is, though, Stracker, it's like he's their guy. Like, when's he gonna? They've got to trust him. They've got to give him that rope. Did he bail? Like, that's the big question. Did he bail because he wasn't being successful out there? He thought maybe somebody else could come in and get the job done better. We don't want to hear that.
Really quickly then, what do we think about everyone else coming out and criticizing him? Do you think guys like Deion Sanders who have spoken out, Maurice Jones-Drew, are they all offside?
I'd say so. I know obviously it's something that is held kind of in the locker room, and you can see yesterday a lot of those Bears players came out and defended him.
When did Deion Sanders ever play with a broken toenail? A broken
turf toe.
Turf toe. Didn't he have turf toe?
Yes. All right. We're going to talk a little more trash here. We're going to move on to our next topic. Maybe one of the best trash talkers now ever, Rex Ryan. I know he's kind of been known for it before, but as of late, the surprising thing was when it came to the Steelers, he kind of kept his mouth shut. And now you can't help but wonder if keeping quiet was the wrong thing to do. So
I got to go first on this. Because,
go ahead.
You know what? Because he ripped the Patriots yesterday. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
So he comes flying out. He rips. We can handle the Patriots, no problem, basically. But we have to learn how to beat the other teams. Nobody else can beat the Patriots, but we can beat them. All right. You trash talked, was successful. Rex, where were you? And it was a comment he made.
Where were you?
It was a comment he made prior to the game. And the day before the game, he said, this should be a great game to watch as both teams are very similar in all aspects of their game, defensively, offensively, everything. Where's the Rex Ryan that everyone wanted to hear? Nah, we're going to kick their butts.
But then that's my question. From a coaching perspective and strategy, do you think he should have spoken up? It seemed to work.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so. But then maybe he's realizing that maybe he just couldn't beat the Steelers, or he just wanted to.
But that's the message.
Or maybe he just was like, you know what, we're getting this close to the Super Bowl. Maybe I should shut my
clean
mouth
it up and
clean
just
it
let
up.
the.
Yeah, but no, I see what you're saying, but
Not
you
the right
got your
time.
players
Yeah.
to believe your philosophy
they
of
bought
the
in.
challenge. They bought it. They were, as a player, I'm going to be, Jesus, Rex, shut up, God almighty. Like, that's feeding fuel to the fire. But it was working, and their players stood behind him, and they stood behind him the first game, the second game. Now, all of a sudden, it's clammed my mouth. I don't believe that they clammed up because it was the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think something else was a factor, and I don't know what it was, but that's a shame. I wish you would have trash talked it, because at least you know.
There you go, Rex. Brian wanted you to speak up. I think we all did.
It's a new philosophy.
All right, let's move on. Finally, Big Ben is best. Is there anybody else? I know we talked about this, how Sanchez had done so well beating, who he beat, but now Ben Roethlisberger, he's going to have, if he can pull this one off, he's going 28 years old, 3 rings.
Yeah,
so
it's
we'll be
impressive.
tied with Brady. Is there anybody out there that's better than him right now?
Well, he seems like, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're a run-first team, by far. You can see Mendenhall had like almost 100 yards before the halftime, plus he had a touchdown. Big Ben, it just seems like he's pretty low-key. He'll let the team kind of dictate where it goes, and then he's there to make the big plays late in the game, like against Baltimore a couple weeks ago. I know that one hurts for you. And then obviously this week with the late first down. So,
but I don't. I mean, he didn't play well. There was one thing.
Yeah,
he
didn't play well.
I don't think he's not that. He's not the greatest quarterback. I think he's had a great team to play.
Well, there's no question.
Well, there's everybody contributes on the team, so it's hard. Whereas you can look at Tom Brady and go, Tom Brady is
carries that,
or
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning carries the team by his arm. You can't say that about Pittsburgh. That's a complete team effort. So you know what? He fits in great in the scheme of their play.
The other thing I have to say I do like about Ben is, though, he's dangerous outside the pocket. For a bigger guy, for as big as he is, he can move. Yeah. And when he runs, it's going to take more than one guy to bring him down, which I think makes him that much more threatening compared to some of the smaller guys out there.
On his touchdown, where he broke, but you know what? If you had 340-pound men running after you, you might move your ass pretty quick, too.
Quick. Yes. All right, well, we do have to move to a break, but before that, if you like what you see here, and if you think that you could step into Streck's shoes, or maybe you want to drop the gloves against Brian, log on to our Facebook page, drop us a line, and let us know that you'd like to be a guest. Or maybe there's somewhere out there, someone who you think could drop the gloves against Brian. So don't be afraid to shoot us an email at theglovesareoff@newcap.ca or visit us on our Facebook page. Stay tuned, a lot more Dumb and Change coming your way.